let's talk about these theorems, these two, this intermediate value theorem and this squeeze or sandwich theorem. So intermediate, what does the word intermediate mean? It means in the middle. So intermediate value theorem is just a theorem of, it just talks about the middle. So what it just says is, for the intermediate value theorem, let's just quickly have, you'll be saying, I'll show you what, this is so simple, so don't fight with it too much. Continuous function is a function which does not stop. It doesn't jump, it doesn't do everything and whatever. So let's put a continuous function and let's do it like this. Okay? Or let's do it like that. So here's a continuous function. Now let's pick this value of x here. We'll call it x1. Now, what is the y value of this function? This is the function y equal to f of x. What is the y value when x is 1? What do? You go down until you get to the graph. Then you go and check what y value was. So this is f of x1. Like if you put x1 in f, this is what you get. And it's a negative solution, right? Now, what happens if I come and pick another x value, say here? I pick this as my x2. What is the y value? I go until I touch the graph again here. Then I'll see where it cuts with the y-axis. This will be my fx2, which happens to be positive. Now, can I ask you a question? X1 gave us a what? Fx1 was positive, right? In other words, x1 was negative rather. X1 gave us a negative solution. If you put x1 in f, you're going to get a negative solution. Fx2 is a what? Is a positive solution. So one gave you a negative, one gave you a positive. What are you then seeing? This is a continuous function, it doesn't jump. What you are seeing is, if x1 is giving me a negative and x2 is giving me a positive, then somewhere between these 2 points, there is a value which happens to be, let me show you the value, which happens to be this one here, which we can call our x, which will give us an answer of 0. So this value here, we like to call it c. So there is a value c, which if you put in f, you are going to get an answer of 0, because 0 is between negative and positive. So if one is giving you positive, then the other is giving you negative. We know that 0 is between those two. So there will be also a value of x, which is in between this, which will give you a y value, which is in between them. Okay? You get the concept. So if x1 gives me negative and x2 gives me positive, then there is a value between those 2 points which will give me 0. Because I can't come from negative and go to positive without passing through 0. This is a continuous function, it doesn't jump. So that means there's going to be a part which gives you 0. So that is what we are now going to show. So basically, for intermediate value, you just get a value lower and a value higher, and it would have proved that there is a value in between there which will give you the intermediate value, okay, or the value which is in the middle. So this is just a proof theorem. All you want to do is prove. So it's a proof theorem. So all you're going to do is to prove. If they say prove that there is a root or prove that there is a solution, a root or a solution is a value which gives you an answer of 0. That is a root. If you look at a graph, a root will be here is a root and here is another root. So these are the roots or solutions. The one you guys saw when you say, so x will be equal to 4 or x equal to, they are the roots, which is, if you put them in your function, what answer will you get? 0. So if they say prove that there is a root, they're saying prove that there is a value which gives you an answer of 0. If they say prove that there is a solution, they're saying prove that there is a value which gives you an answer of 0. So what you do is you prove that there is one which gives you negative, then the next gives me positive. So in between those two, one should give me 0.